আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি তৌহিদ আইসিসি তে ডিরেক্টর হিসাবে আছি। আপনারা যারা আজকে আমাদের সাথে আছেন সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। আজকে আমরা অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে ওয়ান অফ দ্য বেস্ট ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ নিউক্যাসল এর সাথে আছি। তারা এখানে আমরা ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ নিউক্যাসল সম্বন্ধে, তাদের প্রোগ্রাম সম্বন্ধে, তাদের স্কলারশিপ এবং বর্তমান কোভিড সিচুয়েশনে অস্ট্রেলিয়ান ইউনিভার্সিটি গুলো কিভাবে তাদের পারফরমেন্সটা ধরে রেখেছে, তারা কি কি স্টেপ নিচ্ছে স্টুডেন্টদের জন্য, স্টুডেন্টরা কিভাবে ক্লাস শুরু করতে পারে, কখন তাদের ভিসা প্রসেসিংটা কিভাবে হবে, তারা কিভাবে যেতে পারবে, এগুলা বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা ডিটেইলস আলোচনা করব। সো থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিবডি ফর জয়েনিং টু দিস সেশন. So we'll discuss about University of Newcastle as well as its facility and overall Australian situation. So in between, if you have any queries, feel free to ask. So today I have a very special guest and one of our close friend, Mr. Antony Joseph from University of Newcastle. So Antony, thank you very much for joining for today's session.
It's a pleasure, Touhid. Thank you so much for inviting me. Hi everyone. Myself Anthony and I represent the University of Newcastle, Australia.
Okay, so how everything in your country? So you are based in India, so everything good over there so far?
In the recent few weeks, we have seen a second wave of COVID and we are fighting it pretty strongly. There are new cases, almost 300,000 new cases every day, which is a concern. But then, as a country, we are trying to cope up and trying to be strong in this unprecedented times ahead.
Yeah, I think in that regard, Australia really did well to implement some of the toughest measures in the world, and that's why their number of cases is very low. So can you please highlight few of the facts that the Australian government took? That's why they are still maintaining a suitable environment in Australia compared to some other countries.
Yes. So in fact, our Australian borders are still closed. It's been almost a year and a half now, and the Australian borders are closed. For us, it might be like, the Australian borders are not letting in, students and other travelers, but which is a good thing because, this is the only way wherein Australia was able to contain the virus and the cases are very, very low compared to other Western countries like US, Canada or UK, where the cases have gone really more. In this way, Australia had done a really tremendous job in containing the virus and even now as we speak, the borders are closed and there is no clear indication on when the borders are going to open. But then, there is a strong message from the government stating that, their first priority is in containing the virus and making sure that, their population and, the people living in Australia are safe. And good news is they started a travel bubble with New Zealand. So now, New Zealanders can travel to Australia without any quarantine and the same vice versa. So slowly Australia will start, setting up travel bubbles hopefully, and we can see some form of movement, hoping for the best.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So though they are very strict in travel movement or so on, still their border is not open, but all admission and visa processing is still running. So what you say is that how a student can study Australia? Is university accepting applications and student can apply for the visa at this moment?
Yes. So only thing is the borders are closed, but universities are accepting online applications as well as we are migrated to online teaching. So there is no hindrance for the students. So students who are wanting to apply can start the process and once you complete the admission process, you can start the courses online. And especially with the University of Newcastle, we are allowing students to take one or two subjects online, not the entire semester. So there is a lot of flexibility for students to plan which subjects they want to take online, and then they can resume the face-to-face classes once the borders are open. So this way, students do not have to postpone their higher education plans. Rather, they can start their plans, while being in Bangladesh itself, they can start studying online, maybe one or two subjects. So as a university, we have brought in flexibilities for students to start the classes.
Yeah, that's really great that though there is some restriction of traveling, but student still can continue their study in Australia with some extra advantage, like you already mentioned, that they can took a minimum study load and they can continue further, and they are getting some special help from the university. So we know that University of Newcastle have a great reputation not only in Australia, across the globe. It is considered among the top 200 university in the world. So can you please tell a little bit more about the University of Newcastle and how it's helping international students to achieve their dream?
Absolutely. For this, Solid, is it fine if I can share my presentation? I want to
Definitely,
show a few slides. Thank
definitely,
you.
really
Can you see my screen, Tawhid?
great. Nice opening. Yeah, it's open.
Perfect. Thank you. So, as rightly said, Tawhid, we are one of the top 200 universities in the world, and we are also a top regional university. So, when I say regional university, students will be eligible for post-study work rights up to 3 to 4 years after their course completion. So, this way, students are able to stay longer and look for jobs, and at the same time start working, and then they can make use make best use of the studies that they completed in Australia at the University of Newcastle. And in terms of other rankings, here you can see we are number one university in Australia for industry collaborations. So we have a very strong portfolio of companies we work with, and we offer around 23,000 plus work integrated learning opportunities every year for our students, which is huge. And students can, so work integrated learning in simple terms are called internships. So students can choose internships for a duration of anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks, and then they can, uh, you know, gain hands-on experience on, work while they are studying. And you can also see that, we have more than 300 plus industry partners in Australia. So this way, our network is very strong in assisting students. And these are some of the top reasons for students to choose the University of Newcastle, one being our global ranking. And in fact, the Times Higher Education ranking, which was released on the Sustainable Development Goals last week, we are number one in Australia for partnerships, you know. And sorry, we are number one in the world for partnerships. And in Australia, overall, we are ranked 12th. And this way, students get the best out of the university. And during their studies itself, we encourage them and we give them a lot of assistance to build their professional networks and connect with industry partners. And Newcastle is also one of the most serene and the most livable city, especially when it comes to accommodation and other expenses. Wherein, if you see Sydney or Melbourne, they are too expensive for students, whereas Newcastle, I'll show the comparison here. Again, this is for those who are not aware where Newcastle is. We are very close to Sydney. So from Sydney, just takes 1.5, 2 hours to reach Newcastle. So this also gives us a very competitive location advantage. Being very close to Sydney, we have a lot of companies setting up their base in Newcastle, and the economic development in Newcastle is exponentially growing every year. And Newcastle is the second largest city in New South Wales, and in the overall Australia, Newcastle is the seventh largest city. And you can see some of the uh, growth areas where the regional strategic growth are happening, ranging from advanced manufacturing to creative industries, IT, defense, food, agribusiness, medical technology, pharmaceuticals, mining technology and support, energy. So these are some of the growth areas where there are tremendous growth happening in the recent past. And this is the one I was talking about, comparing the living expenses. So if you see, in terms of accommodation, Newcastle is 60% cheaper than Sydney and 22% cheaper than Melbourne. So this way, students can keep their living expenses to the minimum, because one thing what students look at is trying to manage the living expenses as minimum as possible. And you can see a comparison on accommodations and other areas, which includes the groceries, the transport, the bills, electricity, internet, and gas bills, you can see Newcastle is way cheaper compared to other cities. And another interesting statistic I would like to show here is the career-ready graduates. So for undergraduate, our employment rate is 90%, and the starting median salary range will be around 62,000 Australian dollars per year. And for postgraduate, you can see it's close to 95% employment rate, and the median salary is starting from 92,000 Australian dollars every year. So this way, we have a very strong career support provided to the students, which helps them to get into the jobs as quickly as possible. And the campuses, we have the Newcastle Callaghan campus, the main campus. Then we have the Newcastle City campus. In these two campuses, if you graduate from, students get 3 years of stay back. We have a Central Coast campus as well, where limited number of programs in undergraduate are offered, and students graduating from Central Coast campus get 4 years of stay back. And we also have a Sydney campus for those who are specific about Sydney, and students graduating from Sydney get 2 years of stay back. So these are some of the top reasons to study at the University of Newcastle.
Yeah, that's really great to know that you got so much flexibility, and the ranking is also getting higher and higher each year due to the hard working people of Newcastle. So we are really excited to know about all the facilities. So you mentioned about the place is not that far from Sydney, but have some special benefits like the living cost is also very minimum compared to the other part of Australia, along with some great job opportunities, because the student don't have to compete with the student from Sydney or some other metropolitan city. Newcastle is a separate city, and they will get more flexible job or white collar job there than compared to the Sydney, like where you have a very good competition to secure a good job and so on. So some of your program is also very high rank in the global arena, and students are very much interested to do that program, especially your engineering program, medical science program, as well as nursing and some other programs. So can you please elaborate some of your key program? I know Newcastle have almost all the subjects students think of, but there are some highlighted subject of Newcastle. So can you tell us a little bit more about the program offering of Newcastle?
Absolutely, Touhid. So I'll again share my screen to share the different programs. So these are some of our popular undergraduate programs preferred by students, especially from Bangladesh, which includes Bachelor of Business, Business Analytics, and we also recently introduced Bachelor of Data Science program. So students who are keen to move into data science can also choose that. Commerce, biotechnology, pharmacy. Another interesting program is Bachelors of Design Architecture. We are consistently ranked for our nursing, architecture, engineering programs. In fact, our Faculty of Engineering is an associate member of Group of 8. Even though as a university, we are not a part of Group of 8, but our engineering faculty is an associate member. That means that our engineering programs are in par with the GO8 programs at a fraction of a cost. And another interesting program is Bachelor of Exercise and Sports Science, Psychological Science, Bachelor of Computer Science. Engineering, we offer around 8 to 9 disciplines of engineering programs, Bachelors of IT, Environmental Science. So students can choose from a range of programs, with the availability of a lot of options at the University of Newcastle. And at the same time, I said before, Newcastle being the only university in the city of Newcastle. So I was actually talking to some of my current students who are on campus, and they're saying that actually because of this pandemic, students studying in Sydney in different institutions were losing their jobs, and they're not able to pay the expenses. The accommodation costs in Sydney are actually moving to Newcastle, which is quite interesting because even in this pandemic situation, Newcastle has a very strong market for part-time jobs. Students are able to get part-time jobs, and at the same time, the living expenses, since it is very less, students from Sydney are actually moving to Newcastle so that they can stay at a fraction of a cost. So, some of the students already there are telling you, sir, we are getting competition from students coming from
Yeah,
Sydney.
it's quite common. What I experienced, not only students, some of the families also moving from Sydney to Newcastle or other part of Australia to Newcastle due to some unique advantages to living calm place and in lower cost with all the great facilities. And Newcastle also very popular for tourism sector as well. So there are some lot of opportunities as well. So as you shown some of the subject, I know sometimes students get little confused about the Bachelor of Information Technology and Bachelor of Computer Science honors program. So can you please elaborate on those subjects so that your student will have better idea?
Absolutely. So when it comes to the difference between these two programs, the difference is minimal, especially when it comes to the specializations. So let me share that information. So in the Bachelor of Computer Science program, which will be a 3 years program, and a student can also do honors for an additional 1 year. There is a possibility, and in this it will be more on distributed and internet computing, databases and security, and some of the majors we offer in our Bachelor of Computer Science program is software development, computer systems and robotics, and cyber security. So these are the 3 specializations we offer. Whereas when it comes to, and of course, the opportunities are at large, especially in Australia for students completing their IT or computer science programs, because that industry is growing very well. And when it comes to the bachelors of IT, the specializations we offer, there are 2 specializations. One is business technology and the other one is systems development. So these are the differences between a Bachelor of Computer Science and Bachelor of IT. So students can choose, if a student is more interested towards robotics or cyber security, they can choose Bachelor of Computer Science. If a student is more into business technology, analytics and systems development, then they can go for Bachelors of IT.
Okay.
And
So,
yeah, and let me also share. Are you able to see my screen?
not yet.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me also share the popular postgraduate programs that we offer. So these are some of the popular PG programs, starting with the MBA Global, which is one of the most sought after programs. In fact, we are one of the very few institutions in Australia to offer MBA Global for freshers. So work experience is not required, and students from a non-cognate background, that means students from a different background, not necessarily business, can also do this program. So students from commerce, arts, engineering, any degree can do this MBA Global program. And we also offer MBA with data analytics, because now analytics is the buzzword. So, we are offering that. Then we also have MBA dual degrees with international business, marketing, human resource, finance, etc. Then we have professional engineering, the MPE program, which includes mechanical, electronics and electrical, civil and geospatial. Another flagship program of ours is the Master of Architecture, which is one of the most top-ranked program at the University of Newcastle. This is a studio-based program wherein students will be learning a lot of, doing a lot of studio-based practical work. Then we have Masters of IT, Cyber Security, again, one of the top growing field in Australia. Another interesting program is Master of Disaster Resilience and Sustainable Development. We are one of the, in fact, we are the only university in Australia and the Asia Pacific to uh, uh, award this program in joint partnership with the United Nations. So this is a co-certified program. Students will also get a certification from the United Nations under UNITAR. So this is also a very good program that you can choose.
Yeah, this
Then we have master.
After government official as well, because Bangladesh is very popular to how to manage the disaster situation and other situations. So many government officers also willing to take advanced course in this sector. So I think could be one of the popular courses for the people working in disaster management sector in Bangladesh as well.
Exactly, Touhid. Students who are looking to work for an NGO or already working for an NGO or representing government bodies, they can also choose this program. And the career opportunities are immense for this program as well. Then we have Master of Material Science and Engineering. Again, a unique program. This program is led by Professor Ajay and Vinu, and he is one of the top 10 material scientists in the world. And this is more into nanotechnology, nanomaterials. So students coming from a chemistry background, physics background, biotechnology background, even pharmacy background, they can do this material science program. And another newly introduced program is Master of Health Economics Management and Policy. And especially in this pandemic situation, one thing each and every country had realized is that they have to revamp their economic budget and the economic healthcare policies because we can see very clearly that many countries are struggling to invest on even the basic materials, the PPD suits, or now since the vaccination rollout is happening, countries are even hospitals are trying to reroute their budget. So this way, having a strong and robust health economic policy would actually help, and this program is a great stepping stone for students who want to move into that area.
Definitely.
So these are some of the popular programs. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of area to cover. So there is continuously students are acquiring subjects and the career outcome, as we are discussing that for career outcome, students don't have to worry much because you are very much aligned with the industry with great employability rate as some of the great achievements. So when is what are the intake you are following in a year? When the next intake student could join if someone willing to apply?
Yeah, our major intakes are in Feb and July. So students can now apply for the upcoming July intake, and this is the right time so that students can start the process and then we can quickly move into the next steps. And one good thing is, Australian government had also announced that students taking online classes, if they have a visa approved, then the online study period is considered towards their post-study work rights. So students do not have to worry that, hey, if I do online, will I be able to get the post-study work rights? Of course, you can, provided you have a visa in hand. And that's why we are encouraging students to start the application process, complete it, get the offer letter, apply for the visa, and then you can start with your online learning.
So after July intake, what are the intake you have? March intake?
Yeah, so we have few programs offered in our August intake as well as a trimester pattern. We have for certain programs, but if you see the major intake, then that will be the semester 1 2022, which will be in February.
Okay, so sometime what happened in this COVID situation, students are little late to get their English score or IELTS score, or sometimes their result is publishing on delay. Can they apply with their predicted grade or with the condition of English at this moment and later can provide the additional documents?
Absolutely. We are again giving flexibility for students wherein we are offering conditional offer letters. So let's say the student's IELTS or English is pending, they can still start with the process and get a conditional offer, and then later they can submit the IELTS or other English scores. When it comes to delay in the academic results, we are in fact offering conditional COE. So when I say conditional COE, let's say the student's A-level grades are still pending or the university marks are still pending, still they can apply and get a conditional COE based on the predicted scores, and they can apply for their visa. And then we give them enough sufficient time for them to submit the final scores. So this way, this do not create a hindrance for the students on their higher education journey. And at the same time, conditional COEs are only based on the academic results, not on the English. So if an English requirement has to be anyway met, but when it comes to academic requirements, academic transcripts are delayed, then we are more than happy to offer a conditional COE.
Okay. So with your permission, I am just summarizing the topics we discussed so far in Bengali, so some of the parents can understand at this moment. So এতক্ষণ আমরা ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ নিউক্যাসল এর সাথে কথা বলছিলাম। ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ নিউক্যাসল আপনারা জানেন যে ওয়ান অফ দ্য বেস্ট ইউনিভার্সিটি নট অনলি ইন অস্ট্রেলিয়া অ্যাক্রস দ্য গ্লোব। এটা আন্ডার 200 ইউনিভার্সিটির মধ্যে গ্লোবালি আছে এবং অনেকগুলো প্রোগ্রামই নাম্বার 1 অস্ট্রেলিয়ার জন্য। তো নিউক্যাসল ইউনিভার্সিটির কিছু ইউনিক ফ্যাসিলিটি আছে যেটা এতক্ষণ আমরা ডিসকাস করছিলাম, যে নিউক্যাসল নিউ সাউথ ওয়েলস এর সিডনির কাছাকাছি হওয়াতেও কিন্তু আপনি জবের অপরচুনিটি পাচ্ছেন, কিন্তু যেহেতু এক্সাক্ট সিডনিতে না, এটা সিডনি থেকে একটু দূরে, এটার আবার রিজনাল এরিয়ার একটা অ্যাডভান্টেজ আপনারা পাচ্ছেন। যে অস্ট্রেলিয়ান গভর্নমেন্টের নতুন রুলস অনুযায়ী যে রিজনাল এরিয়ার ইউনিভার্সিটি গুলোতে যারা পড়াশোনা করবে তারা 2 বছরের জায়গায় 3 বছরের পোস্ট স্টাডি ওয়ার্ক পারমিটটা পাবে। তো আপনারা সময়টা বেশি পাচ্ছেন। তাছাড়া নিউক্যাসলের লিভিং কস্ট আপনার লো কম্পেয়ার টু আদার পার্ট অফ অস্ট্রেলিয়া, এবং তাদের যে ইন্ডাস্ট্রি অ্যাটাচমেন্ট গুলো অনেক হাই, যে কারণে স্টুডেন্টের জবের জন্য ওয়েট করতে হয় না। আমরা যেটা একটু আগে স্ট্যাটিস্টিক দেখালাম, আন্ডারগ্র্যাড লেভেলে প্রায় $63,000 পার ইয়ারে জব সিকিউর করছে ম্যাক্সিমাম স্টুডেন্টরা, আর মাস্টার্স লেভেলে আরো হাই, প্রায় 90,000 এর উপরে আপনার পার ইয়ার স্যালারিটা আপনারা পাচ্ছেন। এবং এই কোভিড সিচুয়েশনে কিন্তু নিউক্যাসল ইউনিভার্সিটি অনেক ধরনের ফ্লেক্সিবিলিটিটা দিচ্ছে। আপনাকে পুরো কোর্স লোড নিতে হচ্ছে না, আপনি 1 or 2 সাবজেক্ট নিয়েই আপনার স্টাডিটা কন্টিনিউ করতে পারছেন, এবং একটা ডিপোজিট করা লাগছে। এবং যারা এখনো অ্যাপ্লাই করেননি, ভাবছেন যে আইএলটিএসটা পেন্ডিং আছে বা ফাইনাল রেজাল্টটা পেন্ডিং আছে, আপনারা কিন্তু অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারছেন এখনই কন্ডিশনাল অফার নিয়ে। এবং যদি আপনার একাডেমিকটা, সাপোজ কেউ যদি এ লেভেল রেজাল্টটা এখনো পেন্ডিং থাকে, এস করা থাকে বা ও লেভেল করা থাকে, তারা কন্ডিশনাল পাচ্ছে, যেটা দিয়ে আপনি ভিসার জন্য অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারছেন। ইউ ডোন্ট হ্যাভ টু ওয়েস্ট মাচ টাইম যে আপনার সার্টিফিকেটের জন্য আপনারা ওয়েট করবেন তারপরে অ্যাপ্লাই করবেন। এই ধরনের নানা ফ্যাসিলিটি নিয়ে আমরা আলাপ করছি। তো আপনার বিটুইন যদি আরো কোনো কারোর প্রশ্ন থাকে তো আমাদেরকে কোশ্চেন করতে পারেন, উইল ট্রাই আওয়ার বেস্ট টু আনসার। So Anthony, in between we got few questions that Kobir Islam asking, do you have any scholarship for MSc in CASC? So is there any scholarship for CASC program master's level?
Yes, we do offer scholarships for our students from South Asia, and that purely depends on your academic merit. So, we will see what's your percentage or CGPA in your last completed degree, and based on that, scholarships are offered. And the amount actually varies depending on your score and depending on the program. So, for business-related programs, the scholarship is slightly different, and for other programs, through the faculties, it's slightly different. But yes, scholarships are available for students. And I would also like to point out that, for students who are not eligible for a direct bachelor's or master's, we are offering pathway programs through our international college, which is University of Newcastle College of International Education. So students can make use of this pathway, and they can complete or they can start a foundation or a degree transfer program or a pre-master's program, and then start their bachelor's and master's at the University of Newcastle. And scholarships are also offered for your pathway programs.
Okay, so that's good to know that the master's student have flexibility option. They can apply direct if they meet the requirements. Otherwise, they can join Newcastle University through pathway program, and both program have some scholarship opportunities. So feel free to contact us or share your details. We can go through your academics and other achievement, and we'll advise you your eligibility about the scholarship, because that is the big university, and scholarship range varies a lot. So we need to check your documents, and so that we could advise according to a situation how much you could get. And another question is the IELTS requirements for MSc program. In that sense, Anthony, I want to ask you to give us a little more details about the English requirement, both not only master's program as well as undergrad program, your English requirements.
Sure. Yeah. So currently we are accepting IELTS, PTE or TOEFL, any one of these English proficiency tests. And for bachelor's, the requirements will be 6 overall, no band less than 6 in IELTS. Certain programs might require a certain higher IELTS score, especially psychological sciences, Bachelor of Nursing or Pharmacy program, because these are more into a patient facing roles. So here the IELTS requirement will be slightly higher. And when it comes to masters, the IELTS requirement will be 6.5 overall, no band less than 6.
Okay.
Yes.
And another question is, you mentioned previously that you have a very good program in cyber security. So what are the entry requirements for the cyber security master's program?
Yes. For cybersecurity program, the academic requirements should be roughly around 70-75% and above. And when it comes to the background, students should have a relevant background in IT or cybersecurity to do this program. If they don't have an academic background, then they must at least have at least 2 years of work experience in cybersecurity. If not, we are offering a graduate certificate in cybersecurity. So let's say students who do not have the enough work experience or enough academic background, they don't have to worry. They can do a graduate certificate for a duration of 6 months, leading to the Masters of Cybersecurity. So there are 3 possibilities.
Okay, so there are a lot of flexibilities for admission. So what I would suggest you again to share your interest along with your profile, so we can advise you whether you could directly apply for this program or you need to follow another route. And another question related to undergrad is HSC accepted for direct admission for your bachelor program?
Yeah, currently we are not accepting Bangladesh HSC for direct admission to our bachelor. And this is where our UNCIE comes into picture, the College of International Education pathway. Let me quickly share my screen again to give you a brief. Yeah. So when we talk about the UNCIE, these are the different programs they offer. So, starting from foundation studies, and students can also do a degree.
The screen is not shared yet.
Sorry?
The screen is not shared yet. Are you sharing any screen?
Yes, yes. Can you see now, Touhid?
Yeah, it's loaded now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So these are some of the programs the Pathway College offers. For example, foundation studies, then we offer degree transfer for business programs, commerce, engineering, then degree transfer for IT programs. So, students have a lot of options after their HSC for a pathway program leading to bachelor's.
Okay, so most cases they are not losing any year after the initial 1 year. They can transfer directly to the second year of bachelor program of Newcastle, like after HSC.
Yes. Yes, under the degree transfer business program and other programs, yes, they have an option to do so. Yeah.
Okay, and you don't have any pre-masters at this moment for engineering program, only business and IT program, right?
Yes, currently the pre-masters program is only for business and IT and not for engineering. Yes.
Okay. And before we continue, we got another question like a tuition fees for MBA program and any scholarship with 3.39 in bachelor's.
What's the first question, Touhid?
Like he's willing to admit it for the MBA program, like the tuition fees of MBA and the scholarship possibilities for him. He got CGPA 3.39. That's yeah.
Okay. So the tuition fees for the MBA global program will be roughly around 32,000 Australian dollars per year. And scholarships, yes, are College of Business, so College of Human and Social Futures, where the Newcastle Business School is based. They are offering scholarships for students. And again, the scholarship is based on your academic merit. And since you have 3.59 out of 4, you may be eligible for scholarships because 3.59 is good score. So we can expect some form of scholarships for him. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a possibility for a scholarship for an MBA program. So I think University of Newcastle have some guideline for Bangladeshi University. So we need to check the university you pass form, and after that we can finally confirm your eligibility, because all the universities from Bangladesh, especially from private universities, not acceptable. But if you are coming from the top 10 or 15 universities in Bangladesh, so definitely you can directly apply for University of Newcastle with the scholarship with your current CGPA, and we'll let you know after assessing your case. So Anthony, how a student can apply your program? So is there any application fees, or how should the student, if someone willing to apply right now?
Yeah, so for students looking to apply, there is no application fees. So you can put in your application anytime. And IECC is one of our most revered partners in Bangladesh. So students wanting to apply can speak to one of the team members at IECC, and they'll be more than happy to guide you on the program selection, application process, as well as admissions. I would strongly encourage students to start the process to IECC. And of course, I will also be there to guide the applicants on any issues they might have. They can also reach out to me. The process is straightforward. You submit the documents to the colleagues at IECC, and they will lodge your application on your behalf. The turnaround time is maximum 5 to 7 days. We will try to issue an outcome, so that during the first outcome itself, we will also clearly mention how much scholarship you are eligible for. So this would help students to take an informed decision and start the next steps.
Do a student need to apply for the scholarship in the beginning, or it's automatic, or a student need to apply separately for some specific scholarship?
Scholarships are automatic. Students do not have to apply separately. Once they make a formal application to study, we will automatically assess the student's application for scholarships itself, and then we will issue the outcome, whether they are eligible for scholarships or not. If they are eligible, how much amount of scholarship they can get. So all these information will be provided, and there is no additional step.
Okay, and like most of the Australian University of Newcastle also don't accept any direct application. Am I right?
Yes, we do not accept direct applications. Usually, we ask the students to again go through a list of authorized partners in Bangladesh. So we recommend students to apply through consultants.
Yeah. So as you already know, we're discussing about the programs and the entry requirements. But in general, could you mention about our audience regarding your tuition fees range for undergrad and the master's program, as well as some of the scholarship you are offering, from the range in between, like how much?
Okay. So scholarships can go up to 18,000 Australian dollars for the entire duration of the program. And when it comes to academic requirements, so what we do is that we will convert the Bangladesh CGPA into Australian CGPA standards, and then based on that, the admissions and the scholarships are awarded. On an average, for business programs, I would say around 70% and above should be fine. Whereas for engineering programs, slightly higher, maybe 75-80% and above are required. And IELTS, as I said, for UG it's 6 and 6, and for PG it's 6.5 and 6. These are the only two requirements. We don't need any additional requirements like GMAT, GRE, SAT. No other tests are required. Only the academic requirements.
Like the tuition fees for undergrad and tuition fees for the master's program.
Yeah, when it comes to the tuition fees range for undergraduate, I would say somewhere around 30 to 35,000 Australian dollars per year. And for postgraduate program, it goes again. For business programs, the fees is slightly less, whereas for engineering programs, it goes up to 40,000 Australian dollars every year. On top of which, if eligible students are also able to get scholarships.
Okay, so that's really great. Like compared to the ranking and the reputation of the University of Newcastle, especially under the top 12 universities in Australia, the tuition fees is very minimum, because other group 8 universities charging around 45,000, 50,000 or per year for the similar type of program, and student also having a great opportunity living in Newcastle with some extra advantage, especially for low living costs. So there are a lot of opportunities for student in terms of the career outcome and the ranking on the university. But still, any international student, especially coming from this part of the world, looking to do some kind of part-time job, if possible, with their study. So, what are the opportunities for Australia? Like, can international student do any part-time job over there?
Absolutely, Tawfiq. As international students, they are allowed to work 20 hours a week part-time. And in fact, there are a lot of opportunities within our campus itself. Within the university, students can work as language assistants, casual assistants. They can work within the international office, or they can also work outside the campus. There is no restriction on that. The students can choose on-campus jobs or off-campus jobs. That's purely their preference. And when it comes to the part-time jobs, we make sure that the students settle in the program, and it's not just part-time jobs. They should also concentrate on the study, so that they should have a very good balanced mix of concentration on studies as well as working part-time. And yes, part-time jobs are allowed. And we can also so usually we have a job portal. So students will be given access to the job portal, wherein they will be posting all the job opportunities, both part-time as well as full-time. So students can see and apply to these jobs directly.
And we know that though Newcastle is becoming very popular for uniqueness and some extra advantages, some of the people living in other part of Australia are currently sitting in Newcastle, but still some students have some relative or some thing they want to study in Sydney. So you have a campus in Sydney as well. So what are the program you are offering in your Sydney campus if someone willing to stay in Sydney?
Yeah. So in Sydney, we offer a limited number of programs. One second, let me quickly tell you the list of programs we offer in Sydney. So we offer Masters of Professional Accounting Advanced Program, MBA with Accounting. We offer the MBA Global with Data Analytics Dual Degree Program. MBA Global is also offered at our Sydney campus. Then we offer Masters of IT. So these are some of the programs we offer in our Sydney campus.
Okay, so especially if someone willing to apply for Australia or any good reputed university like University of Newcastle, so what are your suggestion? How should students prepare themselves? Because I know they need to be focused on their study. They need to know every details nowadays to so that High Commission as well as university can identify that they are really interested and genuine student to study Australia. So how students should prepare themselves?
Yes, students wanting to apply to Australia, in terms of preparation, understand what program you are looking at, and also see if these areas are in the skilled job list, so that when you further apply for jobs and further extending to PR, this would really help. And when it comes to preparation, a strong SOP is mandatory, and please give relevant exposure on how this program is going to help you in your career front. Because not only as a university, but even from the High Commission, they would want to see how a particular program is going to help students succeed in their career, or what is the natural progression for this particular program. So this way, students can write a strong SOP based on showing the correlation between their bachelor's or undergraduate, and how the master's degree is going to help them in their career progression. And other preparation is, again, some students might ask, hey, for me to do a master's, do you think a relevant certificate in Bangladesh would actually help? But those things are not mandatory, because when we offer the programs, we help them or we teach them from the scratch. So, the basics are also be covered. So you don't have to have any certificates in Bangladesh. That's not mandatory. And other preparation is understanding the job nature. So not only, so when we talk about job search, students think that, hey, let me finish my bachelor's or master's, then I will start my job search. That shouldn't be the case. It should be a place where right from the beginning of your studies itself, parallelly, you should start looking out for jobs. So this way, what the industry is, how the industry is shaping, and what are all the opportunities available, and you can effectively apply to those jobs. And in fact, I would suggest students to start the job profiling even when they are here in Bangladesh until the borders are open. You can apply, you can start your online studies, and parallelly you can identify what are all the sectors, and for the program that you are doing, what are all the graduate roles available, and what are all the companies hiring, and how you can make use of that. And we are giving an opportunity for our students to interact with the career services team. Of course, when they are in the campus, they will do it face to face, but now we are giving them an online platform to interact with the career services team. So they will give you inputs on what the job scenario is, in the last 2 years, and especially in this pandemic, was there a really, the jobs were affected? If it is affected, what are all the sectors that were affected? Or in this pandemic, some sectors might have gone up, so they will give you the statistics. So this way, students can be well prepared so that once they land in Australia and start the program, they can quickly start applying to the jobs as well.
Okay,
These are
so
some of
that's
my suggestions.
yeah. So that's a very important advice for the student. First of all, you need to know what you are going to learn. As Anthony mentioned, the topic you will study and what are the extra knowledge you will have, and then you need to match those things to your future career and how you could utilize this knowledge to your future plan, which career you are joining in, how much you are going to earn from that job, and what are the extra skill you need to achieve. And most important thing, also Anthony mentioned that University of Newcastle have very good career counseling team. They will guide you if you start your planning early. They will guide you regarding your career plan, how to write your SOP, where to apply and how to apply. And you should not wait for long to be job ready. You should start thinking about your career as soon as possible, so that you are well ahead compared to the other graduate before you passing out and secure a suitable job. And another things, like when we are talking about some developed and very special countries like international student, the costing, but sometimes parents or student don't realize the value of the studies. Student though they are paying little more amount of money compared to their local studies, but they are achieving a lot of things. Like what I like most about the accreditation of Australian degrees, like most of the programs are accredited by the industry, that recognized by globally, like accounting program accredited by the accounting body, engineering program accredited by Engineer Australia, that is also recognized by other Asian and North American countries. Your IT program also recognized by Australian Computer Society. So very student don't have to worry about the quality like some other countries. Huge number of university, every university have their own assessment system. Most of the program are not accredited, but in Australia the government is very strict about the quality, and most of the program match with the very high standard, and student getting the accreditation they need to be professionally work in this sector. And another thing is for Australia, I would say, like especially for bachelor's program, most countries like in Bangladesh as well as North America, they need 4 years to finish their bachelor's degree, but most of the Australian bachelor's degrees could be completed in 3 years. So you are saving 1 year tuition fees as well as 1 year living costs. So that will be a great opportunity for a student to finish early and get the employment as soon as possible. And another thing is you are still getting good number of years to achieve your post-study work, post-graduation work. So you can earn the money you spend in the early year and then recover it while you are doing your post-study job in Australia. So these things need to be considered, not only the tuition fees, though tuition fees could be recovered a little bit with your scholarship or part-time job, but in future you are getting very much return on your investment. And that's why I would say that students should careful about selecting the university, selecting the program that will give them a better future in in their career, not only as a student, because as a student there is very limited opportunities for part-time jobs, or if you are more focused on your part-time job, sometime your study could affect. But if you concentrate on study in the beginning, there is a great career ahead if you especially study in a reputed university like Newcastle. Yeah, so in this session, as you already mentioned, like the student can apply for their visas at this moment, and High Commission is also issuing visa. And what we notice, they are issuing visa is very quick time, and if they have the visa on hand, whether they are doing it online or they are doing it on campus, student will be eligible for post-study work permit as well. So যারা আপনারা অ্যাপ্লাই করেন নাই, আপনারা অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারেন। যদি আপনাদের ভিসাটা গ্র্যান্ট হয়ে যায়, তো আপনাদের কিন্তু সেই বাংলাদেশের থেকে করলেও সেই পড়াটা অস্ট্রেলিয়ার মতোই হবে, এবং আপনি ওই পড়াটা পরবর্তীতে পোস্ট স্টাডি ওয়ার্ক পারমিটে আপনারা কাজে লাগাতে পারবেন। So you should start early. So in general, Anthony, so what you suggest, like when should student apply? Should they wait for to be border open, or they should continue their studies further? And how student could adjust, like in this situation, sometimes the time difference, or student may not understand the lesson. So since you are working in online system for long, how your system is helping student to overcome this problem?
Yeah. So I'll answer the first question first. When it comes to applying, I would recommend students to start the application process now. Do not wait for the borders to open. The reason is, once the borders are open, there might be a case wherein they might start allowing students who at that time have their visas ready in hand. So if you wait for the process to start, then that will delay almost a year for you to entirely start the process. So what I would suggest is, apply for the program, get an offer, and if you want, you can also pay the deposit and have the COE, so that you will have the visa in hand, so that as soon as the borders are open, you can immediately fly, and you can resume the remaining classes face to face. So that or if you don't want to, you can have an offer ready in hand, so that anytime you can make the deposit, get the COE, and start a visa process, so that it will be even more beneficial. And when it comes to online classes, we offer live classes, and those live sessions will also be recorded and will be given to students, so that they can access it anytime. When it comes to time differences, even though there is a time difference of 4.5 hours, but I don't see students missing out on a lot of live classes. It's not the case. In fact, students, they may have to maybe get up a little early to attend these classes, but then that's again, motivates you to study, and at the same time, this shouldn't hinder you. So students, for any cases where you are not able to attend the live classes, you will always have the recorded sessions for you to go back and refer to the sessions anytime. And as a university, some of the offerings we have for students starting online is that you have to pay only 5,000 Australian dollars as a deposit to get the COE. You don't have to pay the entire semester fees. And we are also offering 20% discount on the online subjects that you are studying. If you're not getting any scholarships, at least you will get the 20% discount on the online subjects. So these are some of the benefits we are offering to our students. So if you're keen, start the application process. Do not wait for the last moment, because at that time, the processing time will be even more longer, and that will delay your process.
Yeah, I absolutely agree that students should apply as soon as possible, because when border open, there will be a lot of rush and your process might be delayed. Moreover, if you don't apply and sit idle, there might be a gap in your study. But if you apply now to your processing, at least you can show that you are on the process to apply for the visa and study your class. Their offer letter could help you, because sometimes until you get your offer letter, many things could not be clear. When you receive the offer letter along with some other valuable information with that, you can go through it. And since there is no application fees and we are also not charging anything from our student for Australia market. So you can take this opportunity and apply early. And as Anthony mentioned, that if you get admission but not get any direct scholarship, you can still get 20% scholarship while studying in the online. So as much subject you could take, and you will get 20% scholarship for each subject you take for your online program. So and university also giving a lot of facilities for online study. You can return back to your study if you miss the class somehow, and see the record. Even if you do the class on time, but sometimes you miss some of the points, you can go back and check the record to understand more. So that's why sometimes students doing online class are doing well than only the live class, where you have only one opportunities to listen the lectures and so on. So there are some opportunities. So I think you should try early, and since Newcastle is one of the best university in Australia with very affordable tuition fees and some of the unique advantages, especially like the career-oriented program as well as low living cost compared to the other part of Australia, you should apply. And ICC is always there to help our students. We are very much active in this session, in this situation as well in online, and our office is also open to serve you during this pandemic time. So you can ask us any question. We'll try to help you regarding all the queries you have, like the admission, scholarship, or English requirements, and so on. So don't hesitate to contact us. We'll guide you regarding all the processing, like not only in admission, also what you need to arrange for the visa and how you should prepare yourself. To feel free to ask us for any questions. So Anthony, thank you very much for your time and sharing all the valuable information to prospective student as well as parents. I hope student will definitely get some idea regarding study in Australia as well as study in Newcastle, one of the best university in Australia, I know. So hope to catch you soon. And in between, if you have any particular queries for you, we'll share with you and, for your suggestion, and hope for the situation, the pandemic situation will recover soon, and we'll be able to meet each other, and student also could fly to Australia when time allows.
Absolutely, Touhid. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk to the prospective students in Bangladesh. And for students, as I said, IECC is one of our most revered partners in Bangladesh. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the team, and they'll be able to guide you accordingly. And in this pandemic situation, please stay safe and take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. To see you. Take care. Stay safe.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Bye, Touhid. Thank you.
সো ধন্যবাদ যারা আজকে আমাদের সাথে ছিলেন। আমরা অস্ট্রেলিয়ার ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ নিউক্যাসল নিয়ে আলাপ করছিলাম, এবং আপনারা জানেন যে প্যান্ডেমিক সিচুয়েশনে বেশিরভাগ ডেভেলপ কান্ট্রি তাদের কোর্সগুলো অফার করছে। কোথাও কোথাও আপনারা ট্রাভেল করতে পারছেন, কোথাও এখনো ট্রাভেল রেস্ট্রিকশন রয়েছে। তো আমরা আইসিসি অফিসেও যেমন খোলা আছে, আমরা অনলাইনেও আপনাদেরকে সার্ভিস দিয়ে থাকছি। আপনারা ফোনে অথবা বিভিন্ন সোশ্যাল মিডিয়াতে, ফেসবুকে, ইনস্টাগ্রামে বা মেসেঞ্জারে আমাদের সাথে বা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন যে কোনো কোয়ারিজ নিয়ে, অ্যাডমিশন, স্কলারশিপ, অথবা যে আপনাদের কোনো ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল যে রিকোয়ারমেন্ট গুলো আছে এগুলো নিয়ে। সো আপনারা ভালো থাকবেন, দেখা হবে ইনশাআল্লাহ। আমি তৌহিদ আপনাদের থেকে বিদায় নিচ্ছি। তো স্টে সেফ। থ্যাংক ইউ।